Thank you for staying there with us. It's a pleasure to tell you that this morning we have in the studio a good public affairs analyst. He actually, I'll tell you so much about him. He actually has his wisdom from above. Let me just put it that way. A man of very great wisdom and candor, cool, collected gentleman. He's actually a public affairs analyst as well as an agriculturist. He is very familiar with our studios. So we're talking about Comrade Sampras Itomo. Sampras Itomo, you are very welcome. Have I seen you this year? No. So I think it's proper to tell you Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, BT. Happy New Year, wonderful audience out there. It's a great year for us.
Amen. I think I'm right to add amen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I've already given you a hint of what the topic is. So let's just dive into that let's talk about the national grid and get that out of the way and get into the meat of all this back and forth wanting to talk about 2027. Early January 2025. Anyway, talking about the national grid, you saw what happened over the weekend when the nation was plunged into blackout. By this time, everybody has gotten used to the normal excuse, collapse of the national grid.
Collapse.
Only for them to say the grid didn't collapse. So what is it this time? Was there a bomb or a blowout? And in the first place, why do we keep suffering this all the time? Shouldn't we at least have power out of the way after, 20-something years of democracy? What's your take?
Yes, I was almost thanking God because throughout the Christmas celebrations there was steady light, only for us to now see that bizarre experience, and it's like, I haven't done something good and then you now slam it down with something unexpected.
Right.
That blackout, everybody was complaining, shouldn't we start a new year with real light to have a great expectation? Generally it is known that the beginning of a matter is very important because it's a decider of how it will end. So this very wonderful 2025, we were not expecting such a great collapse. So, and of course, do we really have choice? Because they do give us their explanations, which has become like a rhetoric story. We are already used to those stories. It's not like I said, during that December celebration, I was already giving them kudos. There was steady light. Maybe where I was, I don't know whether it is nationwide. So that is my little take for now. Okay,
so do you buy the excuses that it's just it was just illegal, it just wasn't the national grid, it is this, it is that?
Have you heard a statement that said the Nigerian factor before? Mickey, the Nigerian factor.
The Nigerian factor has been factored into this one.
Yeah, so the factor inside the factory. We just pray to God that to enable us see better days this year. I'm expecting great development.
Hallelujah.
National, individuals, corporate, and what have you.
Right. Okay, then we have something else there, though. You notice one of the papers, which was it now, said that some of the high-ranking companies had to generate their own almost 6,000 plus megawatts.
But I was even sure when I saw NNPCL involved.
Okay.
And
I was shocked too.
247 other firms have to dump this cost to generate 6,500 megawatts independently. My question is, what of those upcoming corporations that don't have power?
Right, the small and medium scale enterprises. Yes, because where would they get money to even run their businesses?
And I know the cost of this solar. Just to install, I made inquiries the other day, and you are talking about minimum of 20 million.
20 million.
Yes.
And that's for like
just not for a big domestic capacity solar to power your, maybe you are producing pure water, that kind of thing. Right. So just upcoming organizations. So that is where we have a big problem.
Very big. We're wondering which leader is going to fulfill their promise, do you think, and give us this power that we need?
Like the second topic you raised, it's like they've already dumped the act of development to that of pursuance of a mirage. 2027.
Right.
Which is only in the hand of God.
Right.
So the two topics you selected are they are already they are working.
Husband and wife.
Yes, they are husband and wife. They are unavoidable. You can't separate them.
No, but I mean, don't you find it like I can see that you also find it, for me, I'm flabbergasted. We're in January 2025. We haven't even reached mid-month. Today, we're not halfway down the month.
Today is just 13th.
For goodness sake. And here we have screaming headlines about how this is regrouping with that and we're consulting with that. Some states have gone as far as their parties are endorsing the incumbent.
Yes.
This state endorses incumbent for 2027, says carry on.
You know why?
Why?
We've seen from antecedents that APC is working what I call one party system. They have collapsed every other structure called party, because even if you win election, they discredit you or command a rerun. They have the armed forces, they have the gun, they have the money, they have the incumbency. So far PDP never did that. I'm not a party person per se, but my observation is that APC is forcing Nigerians to accepting one party system. So maybe when our callers call in, they can tell us where they are, where they are in this divide.
Okay.
That's why some of them now who are looking for relevance come 2027 are already clearing their ground ab initio. That's just my take.
Okay, so those looking for relevance are the ones clearing their ground.
They are already clearing their ground.
I think we should ask ourselves, January 2025, is it relevance you should be looking for now? Can't we be looking for a solution, like we said, the one that's staring us right in the face, which is power? We have not seen them regrouping to ask the federal government, give us a timeline. Let's, like, this is January 2025.
Yes.
Can the federal government tell us that by July 2025 we would have increased the wattage by this megawatts, which would be enough to feed?
That's our expectation.
For goodness sake. But all the time the regrouping and overgrouping is always about political power.
Power within 1 year, then the next thing they are already shifting focus to look at what INEC said.
Right.
That the budget allocated to them for election 2025 is inadequate. When I saw it, I was wowed. Truly, we are the architect of our woes. We really don't love ourselves. We don't love our nation. We don't want to develop. What are we doing in elections that we are talking about billions? And the chairman even suggests, he said 125 billion is what he's expecting.
Right.
Allocation for 2025 election. And we are talking about 2027, that the presidential election is going to be next year, towards ending. So what are the electoral
It's not even going to be next year. It's going to be the year after. We're in 2025 now.
Yes.
It's not even next year. It's the upper year.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So why the rush now to grab this whole money?
And when I saw this, I was wondering, I said, how many states are going into election this year? That we are talking about 125 billion. Oh no.
For off-cycle elections.
Oh no.
We've had a discussion. Please, let me even just pick your brains on this, because we earlier had a discussion with some guests here, and they were suggesting that actually, because come to think of it, in this in-between there, how many off-cycle elections are there? Shouldn't INEC, as was in the Constitution, be the ones to handle local government elections? What's your take on that?
100%. You know, when we talk about this job definition, it's like we are always looking at, let me talk about the people involved. They are always looking at the money to grab, not services to render. That's why all this cross-carpeting of a thing, and they don't even have what we call proper job definition. You understand? So that's why I'm not surprised.
But you support it. A lot of people called in that day, and they were also in support of it. I think the general consensus from my little corner here is that lots of people would prefer for INEC to conduct the elections, as was in the Constitution and as they did in 1999. So let's see if INEC is listening. They want to consider that.
Do they work with Constitution? It's like, you really understand what I just said. They are talking about how much is available in this project. So whether it's your job or yes, they are going for it.
Right.
They don't look at the Constitution. Who even knows the Constitution anymore, apart from money laundering?
Money grabbing
is very annoying.
Right. And what we want to find now are solutions and suggestions for them to be able to get out of this. For instance, when you present a budget, it's always given like this amount, and then subheads. It's coming under this subhead, it's coming under that subhead. Is the National Assembly ready to go and do their oversight functions, as happened at the beginning, but now they're still doing this oversight to ensure that this is happening? Because every time there's elections, sensitive materials, got trapped in one place. So with all that money, and which was budgeted for it, what happened? Why do we keep having the same excuses? Do you notice?
What I am praying to God for is for God to help us, because this thing is beyond human capacity to redress. What I'm praying to God to help us is to really raise people who are really concerned about our nation, in these offices, because what's happening now is like you are putting a round peg in a square hole. So when you are talking about oversight functions,
right,
these people are just like these office holders here in INEC. These people are more concerned. Do you know that they can have a backdoor meeting? So, okay, this money you are talking about is quite huge, so what our own inside? When they have, that can be considered an oversight function for them. So they'll now deliberate on the money, because eventually they want to approve.
Right.
So what is our own inside? So they are not like, they are not like pathing a new course for Nigeria's development. The joy of the people doing things right, proper electoral program and what have you. That is never part of their thinking. They say, what this man, what amount you are bringing up is quite enormous, so let's talk. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
They can just come back and say, okay, we actually deliberated and during and then, so we remove 20 million from this. Does that affect anybody? They just go behind and laugh and go for their holidays. Please, we really
we continue this way?
We need a revamp.
Yes. So who's going to revamp us? Isn't it us? Because what's the need of praying to God if we're not doing anything? Anyway, let me say, I just wanted to say, because the topic really was, is it early or not? Because again, there were screaming headlines yesterday, even this morning, how some groups are going to consult Yakubu Gowon, Olusegun Obasanjo,
former head of state,
former generals, former head of states, and other VIPs. It was even written as VIPs.
Yes.
Are those the people to consult in situations like this? If you're even regrouping for politics, isn't democracy supposed to be a government of the people? Do you see that?
I'm yet to. And actually, in answer to your question, whether is it not too early for all these, in my estimation, talking about the secret of greatness,
right,
anything worthwhile needs time to prepare ahead. So in the spirit of greatness, in the spirit of, let me say, equity, justice, and good governance,
right,
you can always prepare even 5-8 years in view of a target, a vision, a program, a pursuit. But my problem is, in the course of pursuing one, why jettison the major crisis that we should be fixing? So if to say we are fixing, like, let's talk about the national grid,
right,
we are fixing that. I also heard in a particular corridor, I don't know how true it is. If it is true, I would have been very happy. I heard that this present administration is charting a course to give us a super highway of 8 lanes from Lagos to Abuja. I wanted us to be hearing that. Let's talk about it. What is going to happen? How is it going to be? I also heard about a speed rail,
right,
that is on course, about to. So let's talk about development. Let's talk about infrastructure. Let's talk about how to curb the insecurity, the tension, the religious bigotry, everything like that. Not a pursuance, of the election 2027.
Right.
That we are yet. That can be pursued quietly.
Right. After now.
Underground preparations. So that's my little understanding.
Right, because I thought it was rather confusing, because I have never picked one newspaper. I've never picked pick my phone and say, these VIPs, these political bigwigs have gathered together to brainstorm how Nigeria will get electricity. No, how can we just have electricity? Never. I've never seen anybody coming together to say, oh dear, how can people who who have worked for so many years, the statutory length of time, be the ones owed pensions? A country, an oil-producing country, never.
So sad.
So with that same, let's see. Why don't you generate that same energy, channel it into the problems that are bedeviled Nigerians?
Alarming.
So anyway, like you know, the press is not only about, you know, dissecting and looking into the headlines and the news behind the headlines. It is your program. So in a matter of seconds, you're going to see the number on your screen, and we're expecting you to call in and tell us what you feel exactly about these two topics we're talking about. Do you think that it is early? Do you think that it is timely? Do you think that we're late to be regrouping and talking about 2027? You also want to remember that this is the month where there's supposed to be financial autonomy for the local governments. Do you think that should be the discussion? Whatever your take is, let's hear from you. The phone lines are open. We are waiting to hear from you. So in the meantime, let me just digress a little bit, because you know this month is when these local government financial autonomy is to kick off. So do you think, because we even have a story here, the federal government said there's going to be a ministerial panel to enforce council autonomy. That's coming from today's Nation. Okay, you know what? Hold your thought. Let me just take my first caller for today. Okay. Good morning. Hello, good morning. You're my first caller for today. When I was working in radio, I would have rang about. Welcome. You're the first caller. Yeah. But now I'll only ask you your name and your contribution.
Fine, thank you. This is Amos coming from Port Harcourt.
From Port Harcourt, great. Yes. Okay, let's have your take.
My take is that INEC, if you like, give them 200 billion, and we still not conduct proper election. The last presidential election, they were giving 400 billion naira, only for them to come back and say they were glitches. What the legislature needs to do is to strengthen this institution so that the process can be flawless. It doesn't matter how much you use to conduct an election. Even the 40 billion that they are talking about, that they say is just for paying their staff. But you are conducting elections where there are always issues on that election. They have not addressed those things. If Yakubu could come on, okay, the beavers that they said they want to release, they are not captured in the Constitution. Those beavers are not part of the Constitution. The same INEC will go to court and say that, oh, this is not part of the Constitution, therefore we are going to transmit the result in this manner or that manner. What I'm expecting INEC to do is to fight for the process to be in such a manner that it will be smooth and the institution is strengthened. Thank you. That's my take.
Please, let me just pick your brains on one more thing before I let you go. Do you support the motion that we have passed in this house that INEC should also be saddled with the responsibility of local government elections?
I would prefer that they are just like a
supervisors.
Because it's the same thing. These politicians, whether it's the federal, they want their party. If it's the federal government that is why I'm talking about the institution
itself. Okay. All right.
If it's the federal government that is giving them money, and the process can be manipulated, it doesn't matter whether it is INEC or the state electoral body that is conducting the election. If they are truly independent of themselves and then they abide by the rule of law, we have very good laws, but poor implementation.
Right.
They should be, INEC should be like a supervisory body. All the old state electoral bodies to oversee and supervise them. Just like you have central bank and the banks, it's something that a body that will supervise them.
Right.
If you say INEC go, INEC is already crying that the election that they are holding and this and that is too much.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Okay, appreciate your take. Thank you. So, We have another opinion there who is saying that INEC should be only a supervisory body.
Organization.
But let's look at so far INEC's supervisory action, because every time a party has a...
You add a tone of comedy inside your analysis.
No, because sometimes I laugh instead of crying, because
it's really comical. It's really comical.
Sometimes, because this is
the saga he just raised now.
Yes.
During that last presidential election, they raised our hopes. Said now we are using 100% electronic device, and everything is going to be transparent. Only for us to hear what is the result. They said they're having device problem. What? Oh God. We are good in psyching, and like in the street I say, don't whine me. We are good in
winding. Oh my goodness. But you see, what I find very troubling about that is that, look, INEC also has a supervisory role ongoing at the moment, and that is to supervise party primaries. So far, what have we had? So that's why, for instance, the PDP today is in crisis, because this morning two different secretaries have emerged from different camps to resume work, and INEC is saddled with watching over their primaries. So how could that have happened? How did the camps emerge? Every time we have state to blessed state, we have all this.
The first thought that occurred to me, I believe, in gambling,
right?
You can psych one man and pitch him as a tent against another.
Right.
So these two people now, one may be the PDP blood,
right.
The other one is APC sponsored. Divide and rule.
Divide and rule.
Because from their body language, right from year one, APC took over the realms of governance. They have always shown you that, look, even Adam Soshimole said it severally on media.
Right.
Said, join APC and you become a saint.
Here you
shall be forgiven. So they've never told you we are not in fact. What they are telling you is one party system, Nigeria, they forced it on us.
Okay, let's hear from Mohammed. He's calling all the way from Maiduguri. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, good morning, my sister. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How's Maiduguri this morning?
Happy 2025.
Oh, thank you. Happy 2025 to you too.
If I'm not mistaken, it's my first call of this year.
Wow. I'll send flowers to you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Right.
For the beautiful programs of KAFTANTV, and in fact, I congratulate all our viewers for providing last year to this year.
Yes.
In relation to this conversation, honestly speaking, my word is always one. All of us, wherever we come from, we have to consider ourselves as Nigerians. And the only way we can accept to be Nigerians and be progressing is if we come together, bring our ideas together, and then focus for the future. We can move forward. We were a very formidable team as a country in the past. Before this, our politicians and whatever, people who don't look at history came about. You see, beauty of journey is we look back and you look forward.
Right.
And you see where you are. Are you moving forward or you are still stagnant? With that measurement, we can always, understand your position. And that will always be a way of life. Issue of my language, my religion, my geopolitical, all these things are immaterial to my understanding. Because as it is now, if we still are happy, we should be happy together.
Right.
If we say we are suffering, we should consider ourselves suffering together. That is how we should be. I'm always referring to how J.J. Okocha and his teams were playing football when all of us, irrespective of where you are, we are happy to see our teams are performing, and we are always happy. This is how we should be as a nation.
Right.
Please, I'm always advocating this issue that religion, tribe, and all these things are not supposed to be a major factor in nationhood or nation development.
Right.
I am working with those in the aim of the affairs of government that whatever they are doing, they should be connecting with the people. See what is happening, what is attainable in every part of the country before you into it. Rather than you go and bring in national anthem that presently me I cannot even sing the national anthem. And not only me, even the Venezuelan president, if you have him stand here and sing this national anthem. And now people are able to sing it all. So, and the budget minister is even saying, and how many billion for this national anthem is the priority? Is it what Nigerians are after? You see, things of that nature, there are so many loopholes that we should be challenging others, we should be looking at.
Right.
Not just politics, PDP, APC, all this one is immaterial to me.
Right.
We must be Nigerians.
Right.
Then we move forward.
Right.
That is my prayer and that is my wish for this country, for this year.
Thank you.
We should get some advancement from all angles, irrespective of where we come from.
Right.
God continue. Nigeria.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you very, very much.
Good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that. That was a good one. Coming from Muhammad. Okay. Lots of prayers. They all seem to be full of prayers for Nigeria. Oh, we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning. Welcome to the new week.
Oh, thank you, my brother. May I know you? And where you're calling from?
My sister, my name is Mazi Okurafo from Arifukwe in Abia State, Gospel State.
Wow, Mazi. Yeah, beautiful.
That is my sympathy goes to people in Zamfara. Those people that were during that plane issue. But the question now is, I'm just listening to the agency. Okay, this time around, to fight anything terrorism, you should go on what we call kinetic and the non-kinetic methods.
Right.
This is the new method. We no longer believe on digital. As much as the jet is up, before the jet goes out, there would have been a drone that have gone back, which I know is the drone.
Right.
And the calculation should be with the pilot himself and his co-pilot on how to pick up the edit. Look, this is even you, as I'm saying, I'm just here, I'm still repeating it. In that studio you are now in Abuja, you can put your security network in your own house with your own phone while you're there. You'll be monitoring it there in your studio.
Right.
This is what they should be doing. Let us go to the modern age of fighting insecurity,
Right.
fighting terrorism. Look at the Israel. See how Israel doesn't it again. Can't they go there, which they borrow from one end by borrow, the on higher purchase. They will pay the collecting and pay their tax. They'll go at the same day. Good morning, Mazo Krabo for around.
Mazi.
Those people that die in the for America, so let's perfect.
Amen. Thank you very, very much. Wow, Mazi has thrown in what, on the lips of so many other people, that why do we have to have all these blunders in today's world? Like he cited a country, Israel. Israel has never missed a target. So since we're borrowing technology anyway, why don't we borrow from them and stop killing the innocent in the name of running after the guilty who already have long escaped? You notice, let's even start from ordinary policing. Okay, let's say there's been a crisis in a certain area. When the crisis is on, people scamper for safety and that kind of a thing. A while after, the policemen will come in and pick up everybody they meet at the scene. Now, I mean,
even
does that
the
make sense?
victims of the operation.
The victims, innocent bystanders, people who came hours later and didn't even know there was trouble there, pack all of them to the cell and then start letting them out one by one. Let the investigation, like he said, be both kinetic and non-kinetic. That way, when you come and knock on someone's door, the person already knows it's game time up. When we are coming from the Nigeria police, just like we see in the films, we are from this is show your ID card. The person will know game time up. That means I've investigated you properly. You understand?
They don't do what I call proper intelligence investigation.
Right.
Because when you hear a crisis, you send like what Israel do. Honestly speaking, those guys have security, program complete. You send ground troops on Mufti. They are there doing intelligent work. They surveillance the place. They have first-hand information of what really happened.
Right.
So that when aggression is being applied, they already have their targets.
Right.
So there was an analysis one of the air chief told us recently when we were crying of how can a civilian area be bombed and killing innocent civilian. He said that it's just that the miscreants do mingle with them. He just explained everything. Some of us even started sympathizing with them. So, but if you watch Israel's operation, like what he cited, Israel go their underground intelligence program, surveillance program. They have they can even be eating and dining with the people that are doing that thing to get more details. So that when they are coming here, they are not mistaking you for another person. Which is exactly what our Nigerian system we are busy doing. It's like here the factor is the more people you arrest, the more money for bail.
Why does everything have to rise and fall on
money?
Naira and kobo money.
The thing is becoming alarming. This is something on the street now. Young men are really complaining. Any girl you meet on the street, good morning. If you may mistakenly ask her for her phone number, the next thing she give you her budget. So the whole thing is really scattering our foundation. Oh, sorry, it's the lady we are talking about. We are talking about Happy New Year to our ladies. Happy New Year.
I'm just laughing because it's you.
I was thinking I was with Okechukwu, so I was just
you're not with Okechukwu.
You know,
I've never given anybody my budget. You've not given me a scope for 2025. Maybe that's what I'm going to adopt since you already I'm guilty without being I'm accused without being guilty.
No, you are special.
Let me be accused and guilty.
You are special.
First Bank. Okay, let's see. So we were talking about 2027.
Yes.
And this grouping and regrouping. We are also talking about some of our pressing issues that are before us. So I want to just ask you a theoretical question, because I mean we ask one another anyway. If you were the president, what would be your 3 cardinal points? Let's call them cardinal points that you would address, and we'd feel happy that President, some praise sat on seat, and today we have named the 3 things.
We thank God for that question. You know, I have already thought of it.
Yeah.
I've already thought of it. If I am to be there,
this
is New Year. I will first of all, because listen to me, whether people like it or yes, there is money in Nigeria. Government have money. We have internal generated revenues. We have all kinds of business that government is into. If I am to be there, this is January, I will plot out my speech and practical program of welfare for my country. Welfare, every state, there is money. Every state, there is welfare for all the unemployed, all the hungry families, all the carryovers from December problems and what have you. That's number 1. I will look into it. Welfare for the nation. Then number 2, we are talking about infrastructure, like I mentioned earlier. If I'm going to make a speech with evidence of my preparation, this is speed rail, this is speed super highway from here to Lagos, from here to east, from here to north. Of course, I have traveled recently, not half road, they have road. But on your way to Lagos, you may likely spend 2-3 days on the road. Between here and east, you may likely spend 3 or 4 days on the way. Somebody came in from Benin recently. He spent 2 days. Bad road.
Benin to Abuja?
Yes.
2 days.
2 days.
My goodness.
You know, so because anytime there is a trailer falling there, you know, no movement in and out. So everybody remain where you are, and there is no alternative road.
One road in, one road out.
And this is a commercial nerve of the nation. This is where the matters are arising. Look at it. If you are coming from Lagos to Abuja, you must surely get involved in these states. Edo states, Kogi states. These 2 states are very important to commercial activities in Nigeria. So I should be coming up with a program that will give us 4 or 8 lanes between here to east, between here to Lagos, and make Abuja a better place, easy to access place. That is number 2. You ask for 3, right? I say 1 is welfare. 2 is road construction, which is infrastructure. Then the 3rd thing is a crisis. We are talking about how to encourage grassroots businesses, which is the power grid we are talking about. Step up the game. If the people holding fort on our power sector are not efficient, then you revamp and go for better things to do, so that we can have, like I said, a shoe factory, pure water factory, restaurants, people on inside the phone and what have you. All these are very wonderful grassroots economic empowerment. Do something about regular life. If you go to Area 7, you go to GSM Village, go to Taco Market, go to Wuse Market, by now you'll be hearing generator. So much noise, you can't even receive call. What are they telling you? Our grid is not steady. So the commercial activities within the cities are not vibrant. So it's affecting employment. Because if I'm not doing well in my business, I cannot increase my employment.
No.
And this idea of pilfering, the babambolas are combing every nooks and crannies of our cities. We are losing. I am a victim of it. Just this morning, my staff have not been to the office. My staff called me, said as of last night, they've carried all our wheelbarrows, all our shovels, even the chairs.
Goodness.
I just had it just this morning. I've not even got to the office yet. So this thing is eating deep. This is not the first time, this is not the second time. And wheelbarrow now is 100,000 plus. Ordinary wheelbarrow is 100,000 plus. Before we buy shovel 2,000, 3,000, but right now a good shovel is 15,000. Shovel, ordinary shovel, we are working with, because I'm into agriculture. Right. So they've packed all my wheelbarrows, packed the shovels, even the chairs we use to sit down. When you walk, you sit down. Customers come, they sit down. They say they pack everything. We have 2 people in that place. So this thing is becoming out of hand. The poor, the poverty these people are spelling on our street is becoming too much. You will see, I saw one at this flyover, the NEPA pole. They broke it down. It's like they use saw, and then the cable inside, they drag it and cut it. These soccerways and the sewage system, right, they are carrying the slabs, right, because some of them are metal content and iron content and what have you. So this is something we have to attend to. So if I am to be there, these are the things I will tackle to free Nigeria from this, because the poverty is like in a cycle. If you fight this one, another one comes. So why don't we go holistic? Right. Talk about how do we handle babambolas? Right. Some of them are Sudanese, Chadians, Nigerians. Were all inside. They were being brought into Nigeria because of Islamization. Like somebody mentioned here, why are we always going to religious stuff where we know that it cannot help, it cannot fix food on our table? So one faction say they want to Islamize Nigeria. The other faction said, so these are the things eating us deep. Religious bigamy. Look at what's happening in Oyo State. Like you mentioned, why don't they borrow a leaf from, the Sanusi saga? This thing, eating of one another is not okay. Go to state is involved in traditional politics. This is not called for. The traditional system, that they have their foundation, they have their history. Right. So politics shouldn't have been going there at all. Allow the structure in the traditional system to solve their problem. They have their kind of judgment. Yes. And their leadership to see to their differences. But we take all these things very extreme to thinking we are hurting one another. We are actually hurting ourselves.
Ooh, so President Sam Praise would first of all focus on the welfare of Nigerians, and that, even from the Constitution, is the primary objective of government. The next he said he will focus on the rotting infrastructure. Yes. Wow. And then the third, what you said was, I couldn't quite get what the third was. Yes, are we talking about alleviating poverty or insecurity? Insecurity.
It's eating deep. It's eating deep, because when you start what you start, then bandits, right, the street boys, they pack it away. Who is willing to give you loan now? Right. Because what they have stolen in my place now, if I'm to replace them, I'm talking about minimum of 800,000 to 1 million to replace those things. Right. Who are you going to meet for loan? And this is January. We've not even started business as usual. It's a pity, very sad story to hear about what has happened to your goods. But like you rightly pointed out, because those are the major objectives, the meaning of government, of course, the security and the welfare of citizens. But sadly, we don't seem to see that really being projected as possible. So if you're contesting, probably we're going to be voting for you. Anyway, on a nice lighter note, let me go serious now. Okay, let me go serious now. All right. Tell us a little bit about your agricultural project and what you think. Okay, tell us a little about yours, but tell us much about what you think needs to be done for us to have food security, at least state by blessed state. It's very, very important topic, honestly speaking. Thank you. Very, very saddening. I'm into agriculture and desiring to go bigger into agriculture, but the difference is, number one, I've just analyzed it here, regular stealing of the little we have to work with. They are packing it away. Somebody even told me that they were in the office, they on their gen at the backyard, so the sudden power outage, they were thinking maybe fuel has finished. One say nobody will put fuel there. On getting there, Babambola have, remove the wire, carry the generator, put inside. How they even move, nobody knows. So number one is like, I am into this agriculture. The security of these things are number one. Then also labor has gone so high because of inflation. Those who used to buy Gary 200 naira are now buying Gary 1,000 plus. So will you keep paying them what you used to pay them when Gary was 200? The answer, of course, you and I know. So the labor program in the business is also speaking loud on the program itself. I planted coconut, banana, plantain, all those things that is really needed, because with plantain you can have plantain fufu, you can have a industrial program where you grind it and package them both for internal and export programs and things like that. Banana, a little finger of banana in the market now, you are talking about 3,000 naira. Not talk of a full bunch. So I'm into that, but like you said, the challenges are very high. I was there a few days ago. Cows have eaten a lot, and this year most of those bananas are going to produce, because banana is just within 1 year. It's also plantain. Within 1 year after you plant, they start bringing out their manifestations. So now the way cows are eating those things is going to affect its production, and sometimes when the cows are even eating, they are matching it and breaking it down, and on and on and on. And we spend so much, me and my friend, we're into collaborate, we spend so much to put borehole there. We are talking about millions. And then the next project is, we are thinking of fencing. But fencing a mega farm like that is going to cost minimum of 80 million because of the size of our farm. To fence, put gates, and buying of cement, what have you, everything put together is going to be enormous. So that's actually what delayed us. We felt putting water is the first, and we have done that. But then you are putting water, workers are there, working, weeding, watering. The cows could not be restrained because the cattle rearers are carrying arms.
For goodness sake.
You see some of them with gun, you see some of them with knife.
Which still brings us back to the issue of security. So
the security is affecting agriculture as well as...
What do you suggest should be done now about this herders-farmer clashes, so people can be free from that? It's affecting even our feeding.
Let me tell you something. If these cattle rearers, but which I know they have a union, if they really want things to work, because cattle rearers are also a group of agriculture, but then I have my farm, for instance, a land I bought to crop. You have your cattle, but you don't have a space where you have acquired to keep your cattle. If you can acquire a place and keep your cattle, you know those cattle will become fat, and you will buy manure from them, because agriculture is like a unified family. We buy their dung and on. So now you are grazing, moving from farm to farm, dilapidating and destroying other people's investment, and at the end of the day your cows are not getting fat because of unnecessary movement. If your cows are like this Ruga program, buy 1 or 2 plots, put your cow, put a fence and feed them there. Also come and buy from us who are growing cassava, all those things your cows are going to eat. Buy from us, but then they don't want to spend anything in growing their own agricultural program. So if government is one, then the unions, those cattle rearers association, should come to terms with it. But when you say this now, they say that hate speech. They quickly take it to religious program. It's a hate speech. But you don't know that your business, go to most of these countries like Israel, somebody mentioned, wow, they have a very wonderful agricultural program. If like this thing that has just happened to me now, if it is in a country like that, both NGOs, government officials, they will come. How do we ameliorate this? How do we make your farm so that you can employ more people? And then add to the food security of Nigeria. Because you can imagine 5 hectares of land. If the cassava there, the banana there, the plantain there, the coconut there is producing, haba. We go into industrialization. You're even going to exports. Right. Oh, that's also sad to hear. We'd really like to make an appeal then, if the authorities, especially in the Federal Capital Territory, please, to do something about that, because it's hard for you to put in so much and then have everything trampled upon literally by cows and then leave you in the red as start all over again. And which is a risk. You're starting all over again in the same hostile environment, because if the cows come back,
they'll destroy again.
Exactly.
How long will we continue on this vicious cycle? That's the question.
This is, I can see, like what is affecting me now is affecting a whole lot of investors. How do we encourage new investors?
Right.
Now talk of like CBN is inviting diaspora investors. When the home investors, the home business builders there are helpless.
They're crying.
Because if I carry gun now, that is a crime.
Right.
But I wouldn't know that you want to carry gun to protect your investment, and so you are not permitted to carry gun and protect your investment. But you are encouraged to invest, and we know how much we have to gather and what we deny ourselves to make sure that business is begun.
Right.
But now the year you are expecting harvest is the year they are telling you that you never start. Even the borehole we drill there, it is the same cattle boat that come in the night there and water their cattle from there, and we are not angry about that. I've even told most of them around that area, say, if you can keep your cattle away from the crops,
right.
I am not asking you not to come and drink water. We even arrange that when we fence, we put pump outside for all those community around there, plus cattle rearers. But keep your cattle away from the crop for where it's as if you are.
So who did you tell? Who did you say that to?
There are communities.
The leaders or the?
No, not the leaders. How do I get access to cattle rearers leadership?
Okay, so who did you speak to?
The community around there, those Fulanis.
Okay.
And they are the ones. I told them, even appointed one of them.
What was their response?
Of course,
they say yes, but you know.
When you come back, you will see the line.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So anyway, what do you think about this ISWAP and Lakurama? Do you feel there's sufficient, interest and aggressiveness towards tackling it? Do you seem to see that kind of strength?
Come again. About what?
I'm talking about like ISWAP, Lakurama, all these terrorist groups.
Terrorist group
emerging, right?
Okay.
Do you feel some energy from the federal government in tackling them, as compared maybe to former administrations?
Yes, this present administration is tackling them more than before.
All right.
The previous administration of Buhari was dancing with them and romancing them. He was even you hear Buhari tell you, say, they are your brothers. So he wasn't fighting them. I'm telling you. Remember, he came up with this community leasing their land.
Right.
Says they are your brothers.
Right.
So everywhere in Nigeria, you should have settlement for Fulanis and says they are your brothers.
And pardoning the
yes, they were carrying trailers, bringing them into the country every night, down to southeast. I know how many of my people in the east that they were killed. I mean it. Fulanis were just raiding our villages as if it has never happened. I grew up in the village. It has never happened. So Buhari administration was too, I don't know, too archaic. So this present administration in that area is doing better. You can see how they are handling them even in the north.
Right. So that means we even saw from today's headlines about many kidnapped victims have been released. We've also seen today that a lot of the leaders of that's where to go. Like the Bible says, strike the shepherd and the flock will scatter. So hit the leaders of this terrorist group, and the terrorist group somehow will melt away. So we've seen a lot, but like you said, a lot needs to be done because they've permeated so far,
it has gone too deep.
You understand?
To the point of buying the heart of many people to even sympathy level. I can never sympathize with people that don't see you as a human being. I can't. So when I even saw, it wasn't all last week, they hit a particular barracks, soldiers, and killed soldiers. So when that happened, then the soldiers became more angry and then faced them. Don't wait until they attack your formations before you reply them. Please and please, I'm pleading with the Nigerian security system, go after these people because we don't have a future. Our schools are not safe. If I get married now, my wife gives birth, I carry my children to school, you just hear at home that your children that you waited for so long to give birth to have been kidnapped. I mean, the whole thing, the psychology is not balanced at all. So this is affecting virtually everybody. So you are traveling, you are not safe on your own road that we were used to traveling even in those days where night buses was the best. But now if you are going on night bus, you are taking your life in your hand. It's a risk. So these are the things. Please let us go ahead and do this thing and clean up our country.
All right, well, the numbers are still on your screen, so you can call in and let us know what you feel about this segment of the discussion as we wind down on the program this morning. Still talking about whether or not it's too early to talk about 2027, and we have a consensus that it is, and we also say then what should we be talking about at this time, and we're focusing at this moment on insecurity. So let's know your take on how safe are you in your neighborhood. Those are the numbers. Just call. This program is yours. It's interactive. Okay, comrade. What else did you say? I think I've taken you, and I'm going from back to front in your agenda. So I've taken security, right?
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Let me pause there because I have a call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Yes, sir.
I'm Mohammed. I'm calling from Maiduguri.
Okay, Mohammed, you're welcome.
I appreciate your guest. Honestly, this guy is a Nigerian.
Right.
Thank you, my dear.
You too, you are a Nigerian.
Thank you. We're all Nigerians. You're a Nigerian team.
One nation. One people.
So, please speaking, you see, our problems are sometimes within us. The solution to our problems are within us.
They are there.
Lack of patriotism, lack of political will, so many things contribute to our failures collectively. If we can come back together and see ourselves as Nigeria, nobody will play with Nigerians. This is what I've always advocated for. We should keep the differences aside. Of everyone now, if there is telling us on all angles, it's not one particular place. The politics, so why must we be looking for downfall of our fellow Nigerians? The politics is just a vehicle to go to a political position. Once you have gone to that political position, the vehicle is already kept outside. Nobody takes in the vehicle into the assembly hall or the conference hall. This is how it is all over. So now, what is our problem? Our problems are how can we tackle the problem headlong on all angles. This is the problem. We should continue to advocate and encourage those people that are in the positions to look inward and come down to our level and see what can we do. This issue of changing foreign exchange, keep it in the warehouse because of 2027 election. Well, how are you sure the angel of the angel Gabriel will not visit you before that 2027? How are you sure? Who knows when he's to leave this world? Nobody. We shouldn't deceive ourselves. Yesterday, somebody, in fact, I don't want to go to that family story. Death is always in our corner. But we should not prolong our expectation all the time and go and meet the dangers on the day of judgment. This is another thing. Keeping money because of 2027 and starving your neighbors. All over, everybody is crying, no money. While the money is there, it is not a good thing. We should help ourselves in all angles, on all aspects, all parastatals. So many budgets are being made on paper. So many money are being announced on paper. You will not see those money physically. People are crying. We know about it. But nobody will talk about it. We say we have financial institutions, management, where AFCC, where all these theories are there. But in the actual sense, are you really doing it? Don't they know those people? If these bandits are collecting money and bringing in money back to the Bureau de Change operators to change it for them, are they spirit? Are they not Nigerians?
Thank you.
So, this political will to help ourselves bring out the solution is what we are lacking. You, the journalists, you should help tell Nigerians the truth. KAFTANTV is doing a very wonderful job by providing this platform for Nigerians to bring out their ideas collectively. I will conclude by saying that in last year, the wife of the president, Madam Remy, she tried to support market women in all 30 states. And that support goes down to all the women in all 30 states. If a woman, the wife of the president, can able to embark on projects like this, what stop the government itself to make sure that what they are giving out to state, local government goes down the line. These are the problems. You keep something and you don't monitor whether it goes or not. And you expect that thing will go. How? Within our weak judicial system in Nigeria, where the larger you thief, the lower you get the punishment. So Nigeria is for all of us. If we want to make Nigeria great, we can do this Nigeria greater than even before. We are more wiser than before. If we are going into any MOU with any country, we should look back the history. Who are those country people? Who are they? What
progress have they brought to Nigeria in the past? How can we go and commit ourselves into any ununderstandable agreement and then sign into law or whatever? All these are political part of political aspect of it. We should be wise. We should be more wiser than before. I'm saying this because Nigeria is a country and it's our country. If you like it or not, we are here. Me, I don't have any passport of any country. I don't have any dual nationality. Where I can run and play many countries.
There's no place like home.
Every night, if I wake up in this country, honestly speaking, I do pray for this country, and I want this country to be better than even before. That is my prayer, and that is the prayer of every sincere Nigerian.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Very, very valid one there.
Wow. Yes.
Honestly speaking, I advocate for local government autonomy, because the big boys, the titans in the system, always this kind of thing, you ignore responsibility once the money comes. What the factor now is their own, investment. So if we have this local government autonomy, like you mentioned initially, the electoral process, INEC should just supervise.
Right.
Then
actually, it wasn't me.
Okay. Yes. Then we also talk about this government initiative to allow the local government to get their money
directly.
Yes.
Oh, I have another caller. Morning.
This is engineer Ayo coming from Ogun State.
Wow. How's the state this morning?
Fine, thank God. I really appreciate your guest this morning.
Right.
He's a true patriotic Nigeria.
Thank you, my dear.
And to you too, you are doing a nice work.
Thank you.
My day is not complete if I did not watch your program every morning.
Wow. Thank you. You encourage us.
So the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. Initially the police are the ones to be in charge of security in the country.
Yes.
Right? But the police in Nigeria are so corrupt that they can't just handle insecurity in the country. Now, for example, I work very close to the police training college in Lagos. Right, in the case I was very close there. So sometimes I always interact with this recruits with this that come for training. And most of them, their intention of joining police is for them to have access and to have freedom. So that they want to join the police so that they can become bus driver. Are you getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Some will tell you that because they can be bringing in bribes from borders and nobody will disturb them. You see, most of these police, they don't have duties. As in, they don't have posts. Some of them, they are just police for doing police sake. And they are organs.
Sir, don't you think these are very sweeping accusations, which we cannot even quantify here in the studio?
I know what I'm saying. If you look at those,
you know, but we don't know, and you're saying them. You're not backing them up with facts. So please, what you do is let's leave generalization. What we want you to do is say your take on such and such and such issues. And a generalization like that is a rather a bit too sweeping. So the police is corrupt. So the next honest policeman there has been covered under your generalization. If you understand what I mean. So please, what you do, just go to what you really feel should be the solution to some of our problems.
Now, the people that are in charge of our security,
right?
They themselves, they are compromised. Can you get what I'm saying? They themselves, the police themselves, they are compromised. Now, for what you just said that I should not generalize what I'm saying, although I'm 100% confident of what I'm saying, most of our police force are not really doing their work, right? I'm taking it on national TV, but I know what I'm saying. If you look at the percentage of policemen that are on duty in Nigeria, it's not even up to 50%. it's not even up to this extent of the police that the Nigerian government are paying salary for.
Okay, so do you have the figures to back that? You know, you've said 50%. You've mentioned a percentage, and you know these are sweeping generalizations. So thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate. I get what you're trying to say. That probably what you're saying is that the corrupt officials are kind of denying us the needed security we need in Nigeria. Is that what you're driving at?
That's just it.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's leave it at that, sir. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Whoa.
We feel your pain. We feel
your pain. You don't need to land us into a lot of trouble.
Press case.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we're still taking your calls. You can see the number on the screen. Call us and tell us your exact position on security and insecurity in Nigeria, because Nigeria was never like this. Like anyone will say, when we were growing up, it was fun. It was
wonderful.
Fun and games. I remember back in Zaria, we used to go to Kaduna every weekend for the weekend and back. I mean, there was
no terrorism, no security.
It was just fun all the way.
No so much
to think that people now associate the North, safe North, the safe North as a problem area is shocking and horrible. Morning. Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, I enjoy your program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the man beside you, I really commend him.
Right.
Thank you, my dear.
I'll tell you his name, Sam Praise Itoro.
The last speaker was late.
Right, please, sir. I've told you his name. You know my name. I don't know yours. So tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Alex
Alex, okay?
from Kogi State.
Which state?
Kogi State.
Okay,
Oh, my brother. You
Conference City.
Yeah. The last speaker, what he was saying.
Right.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're live.
Yeah, I think the last speaker, what he was saying.
Right.
We Nigerians, we always try to neglect truth. That is why we are seeing the situation we are today. But at the time we begin to accept truth, we will make progress. This country will make progress. The man know what he's saying.
Yes, the man knows, but I don't know. The man knows, but you don't know. The man did not back what he was saying by facts. So are you accusing me of neglecting truth? I love the truth, but you have to say the truth with facts.
By the time all of us begin to accept the truth, the country will change automatically.
All right.
Yes.
We are actually here because we want the truth.
Yes, we're here to speak the truth.
Information, let us know.
Right.
Second caller.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Sorry, your lines were crossing. I saw it, but you're on now. Thank you.
Oh,
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Right,
Yes.
we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello.
Right, can you hear us? You're live.
Okay. My name's Brinjeri Amoku. I'm calling from Imo State.
You're welcome.
Calling from Imo State.
You are welcome.
Good.
I want to say something here.
All right. Go ahead.
Most of our presenters, they are not helping us.
Hello.
Each time somebody wants to say, hello,
Right.
I can hear you.
Go ahead.
I say most of our presenters, they are not helping us a lot.
Most.
Because most time when people want to make comment on what they have seen on daily basis on the road or around the environment, our people anchoring the program
Like we here now, yes.
on what they are seeing every day and night.
Thank you for excluding me because you are expressing yourself.
Making his analysis. Allow him.
You are expressing yourself. You're allowed.
No, I'm not expressing myself. I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
Because most you that are there, you don't know what people are facing on the road.
All right.
Like me now, I cannot say anything that happened on the road because I don't take the road.
Right.
Anytime I'm to travel, I must make sure that I travel with either. I don't go in short. I don't go on road. Those people that
do work on the road. They know what they are saying.
Right.
You allow them to express themselves like we know what they are saying.
All right.
But the moment we keep on quieting them, then the problem starts escalating.
Right.
I was enjoying what you are, the man there is saying about agri. I want to go into agri.
All right.
I won't like to go there and waste my money. I want to learn from him.
Right.
And see whether the problem is having. So before investing my money,
right.
I cannot invest my money in an area that tomorrow it will become a waste. You people in the station, allow people to express themselves so that we learn from them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear.
Right, so the people in the studio must allow people to express themselves. Very funny because he is calling in on the studio and he's expressing himself freely.
And we allowed
so
him.
you see, and we allowed you to. You finished your talk. So we are not in any way. In fact, this is the people's program. So you're very free to express yourself, but the freedom of expression also comes with control, because this is not the social media. You cannot say, you know, make a post and say anything.
In social media, you cannot be traced to your address and run down the studio.
Right, and the National Broadcasting Commission is watching us as well.
You are fighting this administration. That's the essence. So we're talking about this.
So what you do, please let me just bring you in there, because I'll just give you 1 minute. We're really running down on time. Right, so I'll just let you have 1 minute. Just give us an overview of what we have today, and especially agriculture, because he said he's really interested in that.
Yes, agriculture is actually, it has come to stay because it used to be our foundation as a nation before the windfall of oil and what have you. So, and now we have seen it obviously that the oil that we think we have is the bane of our pains, is the foundation of our traumas. You know, government functionaries hijack the oil sector and they are tormenting us with it. So now what we are asking government to do for us is to boost security for us who have one naira. Like I said, we have to unction some of our things to go into agriculture. Agriculture has come to stay, whether anybody likes it or yet. These people fighting agriculture, like these grand troops of the cattle rearers, I wouldn't really call them cattle rearers per se, because it's like they are messengers of poverty. That's how I want to call them. They are messengers of poverty. They will be tired, honestly speaking, they will be tired. See, like this young man that just called now, if you have product like cassava, you have product like plantain, you have product like banana, these ones keep yielding forever. Once you have a plantain planted here, before one gives you the product, suckers are out, so you can market your suckers. And as well, when you don't sell suckers, they still grow up and produce. So every year you are harvesting. Every year you are harvesting. So agriculture is very, very important, and I will encourage anybody that want to go into agriculture, please, you need it. Nigeria needs it. Food security.
Right, food security. Nigeria needs that desperately. Price of food is skyrocketing and prices of foodstuff almost unaffordable. Okay, we could go on, but we've run out of time. What will happen is we'll have you again as a guest on this program, and I know you'll be happy to oblige. Thank you very much. Our guest today has been Sam Praise Itoro, public affairs analyst, a man of the silk as well as an agriculturist. And I'm Nikki Ata. It's been my pleasure bringing you the press this morning. On KAFTAN Television, we have lots of programs lined up for you. About 11 o'clock, we're going to have the economy, and after that, about 12. Be sure to tune in for some sports stories. In the meantime, have yourself a very productive Monday morning. God bless. Bye-bye.